I'm in Sonic and I saw Knuckles episode 4, The Flames of Disaster. It is directed by Jorma Tacone, written by James Majeski, and if you haven't seen this episode, I will spoil it for you. Gotta go fast. This episode starts with following Wade gets kidnapped, and Knuckles does nothing. Knuckles is like, you know what he needs to learn? He needs to learn how to save himself. And so that's what this episode is. Wade gets stuck in this cage that is electrocuted, that drives on the road in a very open way, such like it's a zoo animal at a zoo, but it's on the road, so any police officer just there would see that there's a man in these bars on the road and would pull this guy over. That doesn't happen at all. I'm surprised that that doesn't happen, but that's what I was thinking the entire time. No cop would let this just go, okay? Cops don't let you drive without both headlights or both stoplights, the ones on the back. Reverse lights? I don't know what they're called. Whatever. Cops will find any reason to pull you over. Okay, this is definitely one of those reasons. It turns out that this dude stealing Wade was his pal. He got betrayed. Oh, wow, that's crazy. And of course, Wade, being the wimp that he is, he's like, I gotta find some inner strength. I don't know where to find some. I gotta meditate. I'm gonna meditate, and I'm gonna be talked to by the chief that Knuckles talks to a lot, the Pakahamubuda, the guy, the Papahudu, the Pakahamau, the Pakachikachow, the Bow Bow Chicka Wow Wow, that guy. That dude, whatever his name is, he's existing. And this Wade dude, he'd be like, oh man, can you teach me how to be a warrior? This guy's alright. I can. There are a few things that you must learn. You must master your emotions. Man, that seems to be the first step into becoming an elevated being. With mastery of your environment is learning how to control your emotions. There's a very common theme that I see in media that tries to teach me how to be good at my life. Okay? And Wade is not very good with his life. Obviously, he was very emotional last episode, having that feud with that sister of his, that pesky sister of his. Honestly, they had what I would describe to be a 5-year-old having a fight with a 4-year-old. I don't know, it was just like really immature, that fight from last episode. But anyway, he's gonna develop as a character. He's gonna get past those tendencies. This episode goes from a little bit weird, a little bit boring-ish, whatever, to straight up crazy and uncomfortable. And by uncomfortable, I mean as soon as we have a, quote, low-budget rock opera, as the show says, as soon as they start singing and dancing, I feel uncomfortable watching it. I don't know, I feel like every time I've watched a song and dance on TV, I feel that cringe. You know, I normally don't feel cringe much, but the only way I can really describe it, if you've ever watched The Office and you see what Michael Scott does and you feel like just the cringe that he feels, that's the only time I ever feel cringe like I felt cringe. Like in this instance is whenever I feel cringe like that. Other than that, I don't really feel that much cringe in media. So I felt cringe when they're singing and dancing because I was like, this is weird, convoluted. Where did this come from? What, they needed to hire people? Is there some sort of status quo? Or I guess a quota, rather, is the right term. Is there a quota in Hollywood saying that you need to have this many songs and dances in children's properties in order to be on the streaming services? Because I feel like there is. I don't know why they did that. Why did you do the whole song and dance? I mean, yeah, I see that Knuckles' backstory is pretty tragic, that his dad died because a bunch of owls plucked at him to death. I guess that'd be pretty terrible to animate in terms of the kid friendliness. you couldn't do the kid-friendly thing. You would have to make it pretty brutal as an animation. So I understand doing the musical song and dance. It just feels weird and out of place. And for a moment, for like several moments, I'm like, I'm not watching Knuckles anymore. When did I start watching a Broadway musical? Basically, Knuckles' backstory is that his dad got plucked at by a bunch of owls, a bunch of giant owls, and Knuckles was going to get him, but he lost to them, and so he had to gain the strength and train and train and train, and in order to defeat the owls. But as soon as he defeated the owls, he did not feel any better about his father being dead. And also he directed his attentions toward the Mastral Emerald. Man, I think Knuckles has the least amount of ego out of everyone in this world. I swear. He's only interested in being a warrior, which, you know, in order to be a warrior, you gotta be in touch with oneself. You gotta be divorced from your own wants and desires and what is good for the greatness of the group, which I definitely feel that Knuckles prioritizes group safety over his own wants and desires. The opposite of that, definitely being Sonic, but Sonic doesn't really appear much in these episodes. So Wade, he develops the strength. You know what, where you get the strength from? You get the strength from your heart. The strength comes from your heart. Ooh, yeah, let's go. He's gotta go fast. You know what he does? What's interesting is that Wade ends up punching through the steel cage that he's in and lands on the asphalt with fists straight into the asphalt like a superhero, completely undamaged. And then he goes home on a cool Harley Davidson motorcycle, or another brand of motorcycle. I only know Harley Davidson and Toyota. Only Toyota because they also make musical instruments. And it makes me wonder, do Toyota be making musical instruments and motorcycles at the same time? I mean, I understand they're both metal, so I get it. That's cool. But, you know, that's the only thing I know about motorcycles. Well, anyway, he rides on a cool motorcycle, vroom, vroom. He goes home, vroom, 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 vroom. And Knuckles is like, I knew you could do it. This was a test, because now that we're in Boise, Idaho. Man, I've been to Boise. It's whatever. I'm excited for the next episode. What happens in the next episode? Who knows? But they're gonna go to Reno and he's gonna go bowl. He's gonna bowl hard. I gotta give this episode, it's a solid 6.7 out of 10. If you like this review, watch another one. The platform really likes that. Go to my Patreon to support the Daily Grindiness, and also request a movie review at my Patreon too. For one movie review for 1 month, it's $20 dinos. Go to my link tree to support the daily grindiness of all the daily movies, so go here. And until next time, I'll see you later. My sound croutons and bacon bits. I'm gonna go run to Reno now. Goodbye. I'm gonna beat Knuckles.